Okay, great. My name is Lisa Stewart, and I am the project director of No Place for Hate. And it is my pleasure to be here today and see all of you wonderful students here representing all of these great No Place for Hate schools around Pennsylvania. I'm so excited that you made the trip. And in a few minutes, we're going to tell everyone who you are and why you're here. But first, I have some very special guests to introduce. The first person that I would like to introduce is Senator Pat Brown. The Honorable Pat Brown is here to introduce the No Place for Hate Week resolution.
What a great group. Thank you for coming to our state capitol for such an important cause. And I'm proud to join my colleague from the House, Representative Frankel, in sponsoring a Senate resolution designated the week of October 6th as No Place for Hate Week in the Commonwealth, and recognizing the Anti-Defamation League for its efforts at promoting goodwill, brotherhood, and tolerance throughout Pennsylvania. I think I can speak for the entire General Assembly that we appreciate and support any effort in this state that promotes tolerance and diversity. But this is really not a new concept in Pennsylvania. In fact, back in 1701, over 300 years ago, in his Charter of Privileges, the founder of your state, William Penn, offered a very, very different idea for the rest of the world when he wrote, "No person shall be in any case molested or prejudiced in his or their person or estate because of his or their conscious persuasion or practice contrary to their religious persuasion." Back in 1701, 300 years ago, even before I was born, there was a very, very different proposition. But you can be very proud to live in a state that is at the forefront of tolerance and diversity. Even so, I believe that no one group has an exclusive lock on hate. No society or religion exclusively fosters intolerance. There are many, unfortunately, radical groups that promote division and bias and violence throughout the world. These extremist groups and individuals are the ones who often, as you see on TV, get the media attention. These visual images we see are sometimes very chilling, although it's a natural human emotion to seek vengeance and retribution against people who hurt you. And the media reminds us of this. I also believe in the goodness of all people. It may not be newsworthy when people of all ages, races, and religions live, work, and play, and worship in peace and harmony, but it sure is noteworthy. It is true that in Pennsylvania we have many differences, but it's also true that we share many common goals, hopes, and aspirations. We love our families. We want the best for all of you, all our children. We want them to be safe, healthy, and happy. And even in our religions, as diverse as your neighbors may be, going by different faiths and different religions, we share many commonalities, such as the power and the need of prayer and meditation. No matter how busy we are in our daily lives, our professions, and our families, I believe it is important to practice prayer and meditation. This reflection and reverence rejuvenates us every day and grants us peace and serenity. So on behalf of your state senate, I urge all of you here today, to continue to pray and practice tolerance every day. Through prayer, meditation, and faith, we can work towards making sure that Pennsylvania is always a no place for hate. Thank you very much. I'd like to recognize one of my colleagues in the state senate, Senator Connie Williams from Montgomery County.
I'm Marshall Street, Welcome to Harrisburg. I see Representative Verb is there as well. I'm Connie Williams, and I represent, I think, some of you in the Senate here, and I'm delighted to see you all here. It's so important what the Anti-Defamation League has done with the wonderful program, No Place for Hate. And you know that we have just passed a very important law here in Pennsylvania that says that every school needs to make sure that there's no bullying going on and what to do if there are kids who bully. And so that every school will know and every teacher knows and every parent has to know and every child, every school child has to know what to do if somebody is doing something that's mean to you. And it also includes if somebody does something and gives you a text message or on the internet that's going to interfere with you going to school. So I know that in Marshall Street there's not going to be any bullying because in Marshall Street there's no place for hate. I'm so happy you're here.
Very inspiring words, and thank you for the unexpected surprise. And finally, definitely last but not least, I am very happy to introduce the Honorable Dan Frankel.
Thank you. Good afternoon. This really is quite a wonderful gathering. As I take a look out at all these bright young faces, I see really kind of the panorama of Pennsylvania, the different races that we have, the different religions. You really are kind of a very colorful spectrum of our community across the state, and it's great to have you here on such an important occasion as we recognize the passing of resolutions both in the Senate and the House, which we will be doing later on this afternoon. I don't know if you'll have a chance to get up there and take a look, but we're going to be voting on this No Place for Hate resolution this afternoon, and I fully expect it will be embraced by all of my colleagues. Unfortunately, the reason we have to talk about these things and the reason that it's so important for you to be here is that we do have hate crimes, expressions of hate that take place in our state. And we know that if we start to educate our children in our schools, and that's what this program is all about, that we will have lessened the likelihood of having incidents like that take place in the future. It is terrible. I mean, every single year, I know in my community and communities across the state, there are many instances of not only discrimination, but actual acts of hate that harm people physically. And we've seen them this past year in Pennsylvania, and we're working very hard to change that dynamic. This is the most effective way to do that. Your presence here, your children understanding that this is something that we need to change is really the most effective way that we're going to have an impact. And I want to thank you and hope that you will continue to think about this type of issue as you grow up, because as it becomes more complicated as you get older, when you get to high school and to college and in life. So learning these lessons now through this program is such an important moment for you, and I think it's awfully important that we here at the state support it. As we know, the No Place for Hate program was developed by the Anti-Defamation League, which I've had an opportunity to work with over the years, and it's an outreach program that strives to empower schools and communities to challenge anti-Semitism, racism, hatred, and bigotry in every form. This program serves as an innovative and powerful method for building communities of respect by reducing bias and increasing the appreciation of diversity, the diversity that I see right here. In 2006, Governor Rendell, who's been very progressive on issues, trying to redefine our state in many ways to make us a more tolerant and diverse community, tolerates diversity, endorsed the No Place for Hate program and committed the Pennsylvania Department of Education to work with the Anti-Defamation League to enroll schools into the program. Schools have the opportunity to be designated as No Place for Hate by completing the following steps during the school year. First, establish a No Place for Hate committee of faculty, administrators, parents, community members, and students to spearhead the effort. Two, adopt the resolution of respect, affirming a commitment to respect diversity. And complete at least 3 anti-bias projects which challenge young people to think critically and evoke a sense of community. More than 160 schools and communities across our state have participated in this program so far, and we really hope that we're going to be able to expand it even further. And so during this No Place for Hate Week, the schools and communities will simultaneously kick off their goal for creating safer, more inclusive environments through various projects and activities, including unity walks, banner contests, visits from Sudanese refugees, global art exchanges, just to name a few. Our children will live and work in a world that is becoming more and more diverse with each passing day. Perhaps young people preparing young people for success requires providing an education in which social, ethical, and academic developments are inseparable goals. For this reason, I am proud to be the prime sponsor, along with so many of my colleagues in the House, to bring this resolution to the floor. I look forward to passing it, and your presence today will send a message not only to our colleagues, but across the state, that Pennsylvania is no place for hate. Thank you so much.
Justice and fair treatment to all people. We have 30 offices across the United States and in several other countries, and we are the world's leading organization in fighting extremism and hatred through programs, through services, through research and investigations, with trainings with law enforcement officers, and of course education and working with our wonderful schools across Pennsylvania and across the United States. Now, the No Place for Hate program was founded about 7 years ago, and in 7 years we've expanded to 160 schools and communities across Pennsylvania. And we're delighted to have so many of our schools here today to talk about their experiences with No Place for Hate and to teach a little lesson to everyone who's listening about what it takes to be a No Place for Hate school. Now, as the representative said, there are 3 steps to becoming a No Place for Hate school. And I'm really happy to say that everyone here has completed those steps, and all of our schools have either just recently received their No Place for Hate designation, or they're shortly going to receive it. Now, our schools and communities have participated in projects that range from everything you can think of under the sun to talk about the message of spreading appreciation for diversity and fighting hate and bigotry. They've participated in essay contests, poster contests, they've brought in guest speakers to talk about their experiences in the Holocaust, to talk about their experiences as refugees from Sudan, and even one amazing school had a guest speaker who helped write the Constitution in Afghanistan and taught the students about what life is like in Afghanistan. So through the No Place for Hate program, our students and people who participate are able to learn incredible things that are going on beyond just their own backyard, but also learning how to cooperate and get along and treat each other with respect in their schools. Now, not everyone in this whole building right now is part of No Place for Hate, but this is No Place for Hate Week, and I want to give you a couple of tips on things that every person in this whole room, is everybody listening? Every person in this whole room can do to celebrate No Place for Hate Week and to make sure that their community or their school or their workplace or even their home is as accepting and respectful as it can be. The first thing everyone should do is challenge stereotypes. If you hear someone talking about a group of people negatively, or even positively, because all stereotypes have a negative spin to them, I want you to stop and use your brain and think, is that actually true? I want you to look for evidence that contradicts those stereotypes, not just evidence that supports it, because too often it's easy to look for evidence that supports it. I also think it's very easy for people to be an ally to someone who has been a victim or a target of hate or of bullying. And that means not just being a bystander, but that means reaching out and telling the person that you support them and you really are hurt that they got hurt. And for students, it also means telling a teacher or telling an adult if you hear or see someone being bullied. And some things that the grown-ups can do to help make their workplace or their home or their community no place for hate. How about in your office? We've got a lot of business and government officials here. How about in your office inviting people to lunch that you don't normally have lunch with? Expand your social circle. And how about holding a brown bag dialogue where you can invite your colleagues to sit and talk about some current issues about diversity and some hate crimes and incidents that may be going on in the community. Another thing that everyone can do is be aware and be supportive of your coworkers and your colleagues' special religious and cultural holidays and observances, because not everyone celebrates the same religious observances and cultural holidays, and it's a nice way to learn about your colleagues. At home, another thing that you can do, you can create a family movie night where you choose movies that talk about issues of diversity and some challenging issues of racism or homophobia or other issues of bigotry. And finally, another idea for you parents out there and for some of the older students, you can choose books for yourself and for your children that explore these issues of diversity. And one more thing, get involved. This is a great place to start. You're here, you've got the ear of your representatives and your senators. Tell them what's important to you. Many of you aren't old enough to vote yet, but you will be one day, and you have every right to tell your representatives and your senators that you think it's important to have anti-bullying laws, anti-hate crime laws, and anti-bigotry laws. Now, one last tip I want to leave you with. Remember that no place will ever be totally free of hate. But it's a process, and every single one of you has a role in that process. It's up to you to decide what you want your role to be. Now, I'm going to introduce another special guest, Dr. Jill Hackman, who's the Assistant Superintendent from the Warwick School District. Dr. Hackman has been involved for more than a year with the No Place for Hate program, and she's actually going to give a little testimonial. She's going to talk to you about her experiences with No Place for Hate. So please give her a warm welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Stewart, and good afternoon to everyone here. Thank you. I think I could speak for most school districts across the Commonwealth who are participating in the No Place for Hate program, that how awesome the Anti-Defamation League has been to work with. So thank you, Ms. Stewart, and to the entire team at ADL. We appreciate your help. I asked Representative John Baer to be here this afternoon with me as well, just to extend a special thank you to him for his support in our district. The Warwick School District is located in Lancaster County, which is about 45 minutes down the highway here, and we have 4,600 students in our school district, so we have 6 school buildings. Last October, we had an incident that I would say had a media heyday, that a little issue occurred at our high school. And again, when I say a little issue, in the school districts, we take any issue, any concern, any question very seriously. When that happened on October 3rd, 2007, we quickly realized we needed to do something to change the culture in our school district. And we wanted to recognize really a culture of not just tolerance, but respect for all. That's what it's about, respect for all and each and every person in our school buildings, in our community. So last fall, we met with Ms. Stewart, and she introduced the No Place for Hate program, and all 6 of our school buildings quickly said they wanted to be on board. We didn't want to start with one school. We didn't want to start with 2 schools. We wanted to change our culture, K to 12. With that, January of 2008, we began the journey. And Representative John Baer was great support, financial and also community support, out there endorsing us and working with us to bring in speakers to talk about the Respect for All initiative. And as we move forward into this new school year, I can say that I'm proud that all 6 buildings last spring were designated as No Place for Hate schools, and we look forward to the 2008-2009 school year. And I just wanted to say thank you again to the ADL for their support, and I wish each and every one of you a great school year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hackman. Okay, well, we are going to move on to another special segment of our program today. I have a number of schools here, some students, some teachers, and administrators who I'm very proud to say won a program that we sponsored for the first time last year. It was a special project called the Take the Lead Grant Opportunity. And what we did was we gave schools the chance to talk to their students and let their students take the lead, as we say, in creating their own No Place for Hate projects. Very often the No Place for Hate projects are created by the teachers and by the administrators, but we really wanted to see what the students had to say and what they could come up with, because we have found that some of the most exciting creative projects come from the students themselves, and we were not disappointed. We had dozens of entries from No Place for Hate schools around the state, and we are here today to honor 4 schools, 4 very special schools, who came up with incredibly unique, exciting programs for No Place for Hate and for the Take the Lead project. So, I am going to call you up one by one. I'm going to start with John Beck Elementary School from the Warwick School District. They came up with an amazing program called Gifts and Challenges, Everyone Has Them. Now, John Beck Elementary School has a large population of students who have special needs, and there's a whole range. There are students with hearing challenges, there are autistic students, and lots of students with different needs. So they decided that wouldn't it be wonderful if all of the students in the school could learn about the different abilities of their classmates. And they came up with a year-long idea to really help educate students, their peers, and the teachers about the different needs of the students in the school. Now, unfortunately, John Beck Elementary couldn't have a representative here today from the school, but again, I am delighted to welcome back Dr. Hackman from the Warwick School District to receive their award on their behalf. Our next school is our middle school winner, Welsh Valley Middle School from the Lower Merion School District in Narberth, Pennsylvania, which is out in Montgomery County. The Welsh Valley Middle School students came up with a program called One Step Can Make a Change. I love that title. And their idea was to help create a safer school environment through drama and creative expression. They formed and are in the process of working with a drama group. The student leaders will use the form of drama to educate others about how to manage the challenges of middle school. They are planning to perform anti-bullying skits for the incoming 5th graders going into 6th grade. And they're also going to distribute magnets with messages on them as a reminder throughout the school year for students to really embrace the No Place for Hate message. So can I please welcome up our Welsh Valley Middle School honorees. Great round of applause. Can we take a picture? Turn around, smile, and take a picture. Oh, Mrs. Wolf, come on up. And Mrs. Waters and Dr. Spence. winning high school. Our winning high school is Emmaus High School from East Penn School District in Emmaus, Pennsylvania, which is in Lehigh County. They came up with a project called No Place for Hate Kickoff and 9th grade orientation. And they had a similar idea to what the middle school was doing, is that they wanted to make sure the incoming students, the 8th graders coming into the high school, really understood that Emmaus was a school where no hate was tolerated, where all students were treated with respect. So they wanted to grab those incoming freshmen as soon as they got there. So they planned an orientation project and held assemblies with the incoming 9th graders and then also with the entire school. They are bringing in a guest speaker named Dr. Michael Fallon, who is a well-known actor and psychologist, and I just heard someone in the audience, fabulous, so he is well known for his talent and his skills. The students at Emmaus High School have already started using the No Place for Hate language to call out acts and speech of negativity and bullying and bias, and they actually can hear students on a regular basis using the terminology. And student leaders are going to use this message throughout the year and monitor the impact of the program on the school. So I am delighted to welcome up the Emmaus High School group. If you please come up. We really intended only to have 3 winners, 1 elementary school, 1 middle school, and 1 high school. But we got another high school entry that we thought was so compelling that we created a new slot. We are awarding an honorable mention to Warwick High School. Warwick High School is in the Warwick School District in Lititz, Pennsylvania, in Lancaster County. And one of their No Place for Hate projects is that they brought together students from Warwick High School, which is in a suburban area, with students from Lancaster City, from McCaskey High School, and they did a student swap where students spent time at the other school to learn what it was like for the students in the urban environment to learn what it was like to go to school in a more suburban environment, and vice versa. Well, the project had such great meaning for a number of the students involved that they wanted to take it school-wide. So they created a Warwick McCaskey dance, where the goal is to provide students from both schools a chance to interact and develop more realistic and respectful perceptions of their peers from the other school. The student leaders of the project hope that the dance will erase the stereotypes that they feel are often created in fear and anger, and that it will open new doors and shed new light on the way that we think. And again, unfortunately, Warwick High School was not able to attend, but I am happy once again to welcome Dr. Jill Hackman back to the podium to receive their award. Can we get a picture? Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, let's have a round of applause for all of our winners. I now have one last very special thing that I'd like to do, and I would like to tell you that we have a group of, how many do we have, 100 students that came here today with their teachers from Marshall Street Elementary School, which is all the way in Montgomery County, which is where I'm from, near Philadelphia. So they traveled very far to come to sing a really incredibly moving song for you today that talks about the pain of what it feels like to be bullied or to be treated disrespectfully by your peers. So I am delighted to welcome up the Marshall Street School to sing Don't Laugh at Me. Stand up and wave for face this way. Face this way.
I'm a little boy